Okay, thank you. Thank you, Prasanna. And I think you have hyped a little bit on my talk on artificial intelligence. I don't have any financial disclosures.
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Before you start the talk, actually, our concept of artificial intelligence annotations has been selected as one of the top 10 innovations in the Think Under the Apple Tree in All India Ophthalmic Forum, sir. So
wonderful.
I think we are on the right track, sir.
Okay, it's good to go.
I just wanted to even more hype it, sir, so that.
Okay, I'm not going to hype that part of it.
I think only you can handle that, sir. Yeah, over.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to the talk. So, what is this artificial intelligence is all about? It's basically a way of making a computer-controlled robot or a software think intelligently in the similar manner the intelligent humans think. So it has moved, I would say that it has been started even in the 1950s itself. And to 1970, it was more of a neural networks. And moving on, it was a machine learning. And then the present day is more on the deep learning. Looking at the artificial intelligence in the healthcare, you just look at that of the 10 AI applications that could change the healthcare is mostly in the robot-assisted surgery. That's quite an interesting area to look at. And also the cybersecurity comes in the last. So what they have a lot of areas that to be covered up. One is on the machine learning. You can see that the machine learning, what it means is it is an application of artificial intelligence that provides systems the ability to automatically learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed. You don't have to really program the machine, but it automatically learns. And there is another area is the medicine is the neural networks that is called as artificial neural networks. That is a hard research area in medicine today. Where all it is being used, the artificial neural networks in medicine is used in image analysis, especially like even for fundus images, the drug designing, and a lot of other diagnostic systems, and as well as in the biochemical analysis. So the artificial neural networks has multiple nodes in that. So there is something called as a input nodes, the input layer. Then there is an output layer. In between there is a middle layer. It's all containing the nodes. It applies to all the layers. So there are, if you really take the artificial neural networks, there are two mechanisms. One is the feed forward neural network, and there is a feedback neural network, forwarding and getting the information back. There is both the mechanisms are there. And interestingly, there is another area, same in the machine learning itself. There's a deep learning is a part of the machine learning. It is just the next level of machine learning. So how Google did it? You must have, all of you must have received a lot of videos from Mr. The director talking about the Sundar Pichai talking about the CEO talking about on the ophthalmology, and they have shown that about 96 to 97% sensitivity and 93% specificity, especially in cases where the diabetic retinopathy can be picked up. Also, there are other presentations from other people on artificial intelligence in glaucoma analytics. So this is the deep learning with artificial neural networks and how it is being done with the multiple nodes, the feed forward and the feedback mechanisms. There are multiple hidden layers in that. If you really look at the glaucomatous fundus photography and the artificial intelligence, the sensitivity goes up to about 95.6% versus 92%, where the humans are much lower in this case, the picking up. So this is our experience, like what Prasanna was mentioning. We had a software guy who is working with us on this project. So you can see this is our aid-on fundus photography. On your right-hand side, you can see that there is multiple codings are given. Like you can see that drusen, geographic atrophy, wet AMD, there are multiple diagnosis is been given there, and we just have to mark it. So I'm just running the video. I'm sure that you will be able to understand this on the glaucomatous optic nerve head. So this is we just draw the disc area, and also we draw the cup area, So we just code that as a glaucomatous optic cupping. Glaucomatous cupping, and this is the peripapillary area. You can see that it has been again coded as a peripapillary area. So what is being done is by Prasanna. So you can see that we are just marking the retinal nerve fiber layer defects, and then we just mark it. So like this, all the areas of the fundus is marked in detail. So this detail has been stored and it has been analyzed by the feed forward mechanism and also the feed backward mechanism by the artificial neural network. So once this has been done, then the process has been done. So it is not enough just to have 10 fundus photographs and then you process and then we can come to some conclusion. It is not so. We need huge amount of data for processing this. So there are many people who had worked on optical coherence tomography rather than working on the fundus photography. So there are many trials that have been published comparing the machine learning classification models for glaucoma management, and also on the OCT scans to predict the glaucoma progression. That is going to be one of the major areas that people are working on. And this in the DRUNET, you can see that again the OCT by using the deep learning, how it has been detected. And again, this is another area where the ganglion cell layer is being studied using the artificial intelligence. So every part of the disc, cup, peripapillary area, retinal nerve fiber layer, ganglion cell layer, either using the fundus photography or using the OCT, they did a lot of studies on machine learning and the deep learning. So the deep learning applications in ophthalmology is quite extensive, especially in the areas of diabetic retinopathy and age-related macular degeneration and in glaucoma. So this is another study. We all know that the contact lens sensor derived parameters for the diagnosis of glaucoma. They have used the machine learning for this to understand how the disease is progressing or the IOP is in the given particular patient. And also they have used the artificial intelligence in the visual field progression also. So there are a lot of areas. So this is another one, the artificial intelligence, how the Google is using. So this is we all know that all of you would have seen this.
To put Xalatan eye drops at 7 p.m.
So this is an individualized, the Google
Your reminder
home.
put Xalatan eye drops at 7 p.m. is ready.
So you can set the
you like to
reminders.
save
This
it?
also uses
Please say.
the artificial intelligence.
All right, I'll remind you at 7 p.m.
Thank you, Google.
There is a reminder for Satyan.
If someone else is asking
What is the
what is the reminder, it won't say because it is
I couldn't
personalized. The
verify
device is
your voice,
personalized.
so I can't set
So,
any reminders.
You have to
You
just
can either try
understand that
again or verify
you
your
can
voice match
personalize your
settings
devices
in the Google Home app.
or Alexa is not personalized device, but Alexa just says, okay, the reminder sets at whatever the timings you want. So you can use any of these artificial intelligence devices. It is not only that we have to use only fundus photographs are pretty useful. We all know that the compliance in glaucoma patients are pretty poor. So the artificial intelligence in glaucoma practice is extensive. So using this tool is going to be the future, though it has its own issues. If some of you have seen the Rajinikanth's movie on 2.0, so something like that, it can have its own issues. But as of today, looking at the artificial intelligence moving forward is one of the key areas in our practice. Thank you so much for your attention.